where you have most of your teaching online with your presentations presented in public on class set would work very well. I agree with that. You know, that definitely would fit people's schedules, because it's a lot easier to schedule 5 set dates over the course of a semester than have to be there Tuesday and Thursday. But really, what we should really be basically looking at is, we're paying to come to school. And a lot of people are paying just to come and get that degree so they can hire their pay grade, so they can, you know, get a career, so they can do that. But really, I think we should look even deeper and go, if we're paying to come here and get an education, should we really be getting the most out of our education? And in some classes, I agree that online, you can learn just as much. You say calculus should be taught in class. I think calculus can be taught online just as well. You know, there can be lectures given online. There can be notes provided online. There can be tutorials. There can be help aids. So I think any class really can fit an online model, but I think,
and we agree with
and I agree.
Including speech.
And I think speech can, and I think that the way that we must do it would be the flex, the flex plan where you have, you know, a set number of ones where you have to come in, the whole class comes in, everybody gives speeches, which I understand that, but really I think we need to look at, you know, if we're coming, this isn't high school, this isn't, you know, high school's not even required anymore. There's so many people that, you know, just choose not to do that anymore. But we're coming here for the reason of higher education. So if we're paying for speech, should we really not learn the most of it? I understand what you're saying. You would very well benefit from learning how to use a webcam application for public speaking. But don't you think that you would better be more well-rounded to have basic public speaking skills like you would learn from an in-class speech class, and then above that learn how to use webcam? Because I'm sure your computer sciences class will, you know, educate you further on webcam uses and stuff like that. I really think education is what we need to look at. You know, total, well-rounded. These are general classes. This is not a specific major requirement class, but it's a general education class.
And actually, this class is required for all business majors in our city's colleges, and so it's not an elective, it is a required class, and it's required for the oral component of it. But there is no requirement that states that the oral component of the speech class needs to be satisfied in person. And there is a really positive element to speaking in front of the camera or speaking through some media that is prearranged, for instance, with a camera at a set date with an audience that you're choosing, that can speak to the whole issue of public speaking anxiety. As you know, it is the #1 fear in people next to next to dying. And so anything that we can do to lower the stress level of people college students who have plenty of stress in their life, regardless of whether they're 18 years old and just starting out, or 47 years old like somebody in this room who's been at this for a really long time, anything that we can do to gain them accessibility to a course that they must have, but that they could never get in many situations unless they have the luxury of a very understanding husband and family who allowed them to be gone 2 or 3 nights every week, week after week, in addition to the long hours that they put in at their job. Public speaking or any speech class can very effectively be taught online.
But they don't accomplish the goal of like getting over that fear.
Yeah, that's what we should really be accomplishing, is getting over public speaking anxiety.
Actually, that is not true, and it has been proven in studies that have been done and outcome surveys taken by students who have participated in both online and traditional classroom settings, that the experience has greatly enhanced their ability to speak in front of a camera or a group of individuals without being fearful. And again, you have to remember, you may be thinking of this from the standpoint that everybody is sitting in the recliner, because that's kind of the way I set this up initially, staring into their webcam, talking to their class in PowerPoint pictures. But many classes are set up, as we've already discussed, as a mixture of what you would consider a traditional classroom setting, such as the one that we're in, and
I think we've all come to the agreement that a flex class could work, where you are taught the skills you need to use in public speaking online, you know, coming to class, learning that kind of stuff. Really, that can be done online very effectively. But when it comes to public speaking, I think a in-class traditional, you standing here, audience there, must be accomplished to basically prepare people for the real world, prepare people for public speaking, and help them try to overcome some of their anxiety. And using a 47-year-old example, I could see a significant improvement between the first speech, the interview, and now the debate in overall nervousness, confidence, persuasion. So I think the classroom setting is really the way to go. I do agree that online classes are phenomenal. They make it a lot easier for a lot of people to get their degree when they might not say, oh, I can't get it because we can't have this class, we can't get this class done. But I think, you know what, you're trying to get your degree, you're trying to better yourself, so let's really better yourself. Let's really get over public speaking fears, let's really get over our issues and really become better.
You can learn just as much, and that would be beneficial for you being in corporate America. First of all, like we're having to do interviews in our speech class, with the corporations now, they don't have time to interview everybody. A lot of times now when you're sending in applications, you're sending in a video application too, where they have certain questions that are just written out for you that you got to answer, to a camera. You don't have anybody there across from you responding. You got to know how to do that, and so that's part of the application process. So having, that done online, that'll prepare you for getting a job, just like it does now. It's preparing you for the future that's becoming more and more common as we move to more global corporations. It's going to help you once you're in companies, because like she had said, there's a lot more meetings that are online that you're having to do. So when you're having to do a presentation online and you're not having the feedback, sometimes it's actually easier to do it when you have the feedback of people. You know there's some people in the audience that know and already believe in you, so you can actually get strength from that. There's actually, if you read our speech book, it actually says that the nervousness can work as, can actually help you, can get you more power in your thing. So when you're doing it online, you don't have that same thing to draw off of. It's a whole different skill set to use when having to do it online. So it's definitely something that would be beneficial for us to do, and that's what these classes are designed to do. Our class, the requirements that's required for like my degree, like University of Houston, Victoria, they require speech, not public speaking. They require speech. Not every speech class here deals with specifically public speaking. So, there would be room for an entirely online class. There would be rooms for the mixed ones too, which you already agree with. So you see the benefit of the online.
I agree. Certain speech classes could be completely online because they mainly focus on your organization of your speech, organization of thought process, stuff like that. That very easily could be done online. But when it comes to these specific public speaking classes, like this very general requirement, and it's not a requirement for no reason, it's a requirement for so many majors for a very good reason, and they realize that it helps us. And I see what you're understanding and what you're saying about how the whole world is changing, and interviews are now done in mass. You're sitting in a video interview.
You still have people contact.
But you still have people contact. But maybe let's take a step further and say, well, maybe now this class should have video interviews. Should bring some of the technology in, and we should reform the curriculum for this class to further fit today's marketplace. But even further so, that fits better into the flex plan that we've come up with, where that can be an assignment, for 1 week, where we're not coming in class, you're just sitting in your own little video presentation. But I still think to get over basic public speaking and to learn public speaking skills, you must be in a real world, real classroom environment to learn how to flow, to learn how to talk.
It's about time to close.
Yeah, just to follow up, that would be very beneficial if you are going to be, in sales, learn how to speak but that's not going to be beneficial to everybody. As a programmer, I'm not ever getting up in front of large groups of people, in speaking. So, a class like this wouldn't be as beneficial as an entirely online one.
But it's still a great thing to have. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Well,
and we agree. There's room for both. We're not saying every speech class should be taught online. Our position is simply, again, that can speech be offered online and be taught effectively? Absolutely. With the right students and with the right framework, with the right preparation. Just like any online class, speech really is no different. I see your distinction with public speaking as opposed to straight speech. And as we have experience in this class.